Now on the CTV News at 5. The province announces support for students with special needs during the teacher strike. Plus, investigators are looking at improperly disposed batteries as the cause of a fire at the city's waste and recycling center. And the impact of more grizzlies moving east back to the prairies.
We always carry a gun now. We never used to. We don't let the kids wander off when they were younger without keeping them under surveillance.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Students have now missed a full week of class as a result of the teacher strike. The province and ATA are set to resume negotiations next week with renewed optimism. Quinn Keenan tells us more.
Parents should take this as a good sign that we're having conversations. We know what teachers are looking for and what they are asking in terms of trying to fix the situations that we see in school.
After a series of exploratory talks, bargaining will officially resume on Tuesday. The province's most recent offer of a 12% raise and hiring 3,000 more teachers was overwhelmingly rejected. The latest rejection has caused disappointment for those who saw it as a fair deal.
Well, it was really generous of the Alberta government to offer to reportedly, according to the government, make Alberta teachers the highest paid in Western Canada. Like, that sounds pretty good.
While some were disappointed by the rejection, teachers appear to have strong support. Rallies in support of teachers across the province have been well attended. With so much public support around teachers, it could put pressure on the province to make a deal.
I think there is a lot of support for teachers. The rallies held in Edmonton, down here actually in Lethbridge over the last weekend or so, suggests that the government also is in some peril here, that this is not a popular thing going after teachers.
The ATA may have strong support now, but that could change. A long, drawn-out strike could swing support back in the province's favor.
Always, unions do have to be aware of that. Certainly public sector unions who quite often don't get a lot of public support.
While the strike drags on, community groups are stepping up to help impacted students. The Lethbridge Food Bank has launched a drive-through version of its Mindful Munchies lunch program. The food bank wanted to ensure students were still fed during the strike.
A lot of schools have school-focused programs for nutrition, and removing that can remove a natural source of food for our children in the city. We didn't want them to be without.
It's unclear if the two sides will exchange offers when talks resume Tuesday. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The province is providing more financial support for families with kids who have complex care needs. Prior to restarting negotiations with teachers next week, students who have agreements with Family Support for Children with Disabilities, or FSCD, will get the support. Kids 12 and under get $30 per instructional day, while kids 13 and older get $60. Parents can apply through the online parent portal, which will open on alberta.ca October 14th. Meantime, parents and child care providers are cautiously optimistic. Meanwhile, a nationwide walkout by Canada Post workers will be replaced by rotating strikes starting tomorrow. The union representing striking postal workers says this will allow Canadians to get their mail while negotiators work towards collective agreements. This comes after Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu said the union and Crown Corporation have a responsibility to find a solution. A 34-year-old man from Lethbridge has now been charged with manslaughter following the death of an elderly man. The man was previously charged with aggravated assault stemming from an incident last month that resulted in life-threatening injuries to the 80-year-old man. On September 10th, officers responded to a call at a business along the 1200 block of 2nd Avenue North. Police say the senior's bike had been stolen, and when he confronted the man, the subject allegedly punched the senior, causing him to fall backward and hit his head on the pavement. The 80-year-old was taken to hospital and airlifted to Foothills in Calgary. Sadly, he died yesterday as a result of his injuries. Cameron Jordan Hamilton has now been charged with manslaughter, uttering threats and theft under $5,000. He remains in custody and is set to appear in court later this month. An update from Blood Tribe Police. 2 teens chanting Small Eyes in Clarence Wadsworth, who were reported missing a month ago, have now been found safe. And an Airdrie man is facing charges after $31,000 worth of lumber was stolen in Lethbridge, and lumber that was found being used to build a new garage and a rural property. September the 2nd, $12,000 worth of plywood was reported stolen from Challenger Building Supplies. The next day, $19,000 worth of hardy board was taken and $4,000 worth of products damaged from Logic Lumber. A tandem truck and crane was also taken from the first site for the second theft. A black truck and trailer reported loaded with stolen goods was recorded on CCTV. The stolen lumber was found at a home in Airdrie. 52-year-old Darren Day faces charges. An improperly disposed battery is believed to be the cause of a fire at Lethbridge's Waste and Recycling Centre. Firefighters were called to the material recovery facility shortly after 5 p.m. Thursday. The facility's sprinkler system quickly activated, which helped contain the blaze before fire crews arrived. The city says batteries can ignite and explode if discarded in curbside waste carts. A new curbside battery recycling pilot program will run in late November in Lethbridge. For information on properly disposing of batteries, you can download the Waste Wizard tool online. The Thanksgiving long weekend is here, and so is our Danielle Savoni to tell us what to expect in the forecast. Danielle?
Yeah, so it won't be like today. We may get a little bit of that for parts of tomorrow, and then things will cool down a lot. So be prepared for a cool Thanksgiving long weekend. That's the #1 story. The other story is that in some communities, wet snow. However, a good chunk of that wet snow will fall while we're sleeping. Nothing going on right now, nothing going on for this evening. It's 22 degrees. So temperatures, as we talked about, got into the 20s today with a whole lot of sunshine. So it's in the 20s, Milk River, Brooks, Medicine Hat, close to it, I guess you could say, in Pincher Creek at 17. I'll have your full Thanksgiving forecast just ahead. Jackie?
All right. Thanks, Danielle. Well, grizzly bears are showing up in parts of the prairies they haven't called home in more than a century. There are sightings and signs of dens in southern Alberta that researchers want to investigate to better understand what's driving the return. Terry Fikowski reports.
Clint Marr's family has been ranching cattle outside of Twin Butte for over 80 years. And while sharing the land with wildlife isn't new, the increasing number of grizzly bears is.
Although there was always bears here, there's now quite a few more, and they've now taken up residence.
He's lost cattle worth tens of thousands of dollars to grizzlies. A problem until the last few years was quite rare.
We've had bears come right into our corrals and kill calves there.
After a few close calls of his own, he now carries a gun and doesn't let his granddaughter roam the property the way he did growing up.
About every rancher in this area has run into a bear on a fence line fencing or when they're calving.
Researchers with the Carnivores and Communities program are in the early stages of a project looking to connect with landowners or anyone who suspects or has seen a den in southern Alberta. Historically, grizzlies roamed the prairies freely until early settlers pushed the populations out in the early 1900s. They're now predominantly in the mountains or foothills, but have been moving further east with more sightings, encounters, and reports of dens in the grasslands. Data for the region is more than a decade old, but experts say it likely points to a growing number of grizzlies in Alberta.
Over, again, these last couple decades, certainly the population has grown from what it was. And as that happens, bears are moving into new places.
And that's meant more encounters, including an August attack on a man near Cardston. The Ministry of Forestry and Parks introduced a targeted hunt for problem grizzly bears last year, but Todd Lowen says there are no plans to expand it or remove the 2006 ban on hunting.
There's a lot of worry, I think, in a lot of rural Alberta where these where the bears have expanded into where they haven't been traditionally. And so I think we have to keep our eye on that and make sure that Albertans are safe and feel safe.
Marr understands bears belong on the landscape too, but can't ignore ones that become a threat to his family and livelihood.
If you got a bad bear, you've got a bad bear. They need to be dealt with.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News in Twin Butte.
Landowners with a suspected den on or near their property, or anyone who may have come across one in southern Alberta, is encouraged to report it to the Carnivores and Communities program on the Waterton Biosphere website. The federal government is extending the Canada Strong Pass. The program means free admission for all visitors to national parks and historic sites. There's also a 25% discount on camping fees at national parks, and children, when accompanied by an adult, can ride for free on Via Rail. The cost savings will be in effect for the holiday season between December 12th and January 15th, and for the summer of 2026. Now, the Carney government also announcing today it will be automatically filing taxes for up to 5.5 million low-income Canadians. It will start in the 2026 tax year. The feds say that it will help ensure Canadians receive the federal benefits they qualify for, such as the Canada Child Benefit and the GST-HST credit. The Canadian economy added more jobs in September than expected. Stats Canada says employment rose by 60,000 jobs, or 0.3%. That's the first time the employment rate has increased since June. Nationally, the unemployment rate stayed steady at 7.1%. Here in Alberta, the unemployment rate is 7.8%, down from 8.4% in August. Medicine Hat City Council has officially terminated City Manager Ann Mitchell. During a council meeting this morning, it was reported Mitchell was found in violation of the respectful workplace policy. Her employment with the city was then terminated. In July, Mitchell was placed on temporary paid leave of absence. All members of council voted in favor of the motion. Mitchell was appointed to the position in December of 2022 after serving as CAO of Lethbridge County. With Holiday Monday a stat holiday, there are a few city closures to make note of. Lethbridge 311, City Hall, the Waste and Recycling Center, and libraries will all be closed Monday. They'll return to normal hours on Tuesday. Transit will be running on a Sunday schedule. Operating hours for pools, rinks, and other leisure facilities will be posted online. With many gathering to celebrate Thanksgiving this weekend, it also marks the unofficial start to the holiday season for charitable organizations in the city. As Carson Morasuk reports, demand for support this year is continuing to increase.
The last Thanksgiving food bundles were sent out Friday morning at the Interfaith Food Bank.
We always see a rise in demand right around the colder months. Our busiest months are September through to Christmas.
As many gather for a Thanksgiving feast, the food bank is continuing to see the impact of high grocery prices.
We've already had 1,736 visits to our pick room and daily supplement room this month. So we certainly are seeing that demand rise.
And that need for support is only anticipated to grow as the holidays settle in. Thanksgiving marks the unofficial start to the holiday season for charitable organizations in the city. Last year's Christmas Hope campaign assisted more than 9,000 people. And staff at the Angel Tree campaign are preparing for a similar turnout.
Last year, our total number was 4,343. We've made some minor adjustments to our registration process and our forms and that sort of thing. We'll see if that changes our numbers. But for now, we're looking at over 4,000 kids.
Preparations began in September for the holiday rush.
Health issues, cost of living, certainly. In some cases, folks have been laid off or they're experiencing bereavement of some kind. So there are all kinds of needs even that aren't just financial needs.
For now, most organizations are stocking up for the holidays and asking the community for help.
As we see our numbers rising, we need more food to feed all those hungry mouths. So anyone who is able to give, we certainly would appreciate it.
Carson Morasuk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Anyone interested in donating or volunteering can visit christmashope.ca. A Lethbridge baseball team has been awarded for their hard work during this year's Whoop Up Days. The Lethbridge Longhorns baseball program received an $18,000 check from Excite Lethbridge today as a result of their sales in Jumbo Bites. The team donated their time to prepare, make, and serve jumbo ears throughout this year's festival. It's the fourth year the program has partnered with Excite Lethbridge. Those with the Longhorns say the money will go right back into their programming.
The extra funding for our guys to be able to do certain things, the indoor training, the spring schedule that they go on and the games that they play allows them to experience different things, and we're super grateful for the relationship and partnership that we have here with the exhibition.
We had a ringette team that was cleaning up our grounds, volunteering in exchange for bottles and cans this year. We had our community program, community booth program in our marketplace this year, which was a pilot program we launched. So we have found a lot of ways to get involved in the community, and in our mind, it's really just the start.
The Lethbridge Rattlers U19 ringette team raised over $3,000 through the Community Cleanup Crew initiative. Danielle is back to talk about the Thanksgiving weekend forecast right after this break. Plus, a staffing shortage is affecting at least one Southern Alberta emergency department this weekend. More when we return.
Skywatch weather camera showing you clear blue sky. Don't expect that tomorrow. In fact, don't expect that for Thanksgiving weekend. Now, parts of tomorrow will still be a little on the warm side and will still be calm and tame, but then we are looking at getting into some more active weather, like snowfall. In fact, there are statements in place and snowfall warnings in place for parts of southern Alberta. We'll talk all about this. 19 degrees, the high so far in the city of Calgary, 21 in Regina, and 22 in Saskatoon, 23 in Edmonton. So a lot of the heat in Alberta and Saskatchewan right now. And just to zoom in to show you, Medicine Hat is at 26 right now. So it's pretty toasty. We had a fantastic work week. Unfortunately, you know, for all the plans you may have this weekend, the weather's going to falter. Maybe you like the wet snow and the colder temperatures. If you do, then this is the weekend for you. So it's quiet out there right now, but this is just getting started now, especially in those overnight hours when we may see some showers roll in. When we look at the upper air analysis, we look at this because what happens in the upper levels steers what happens at the surface. So you can see this huge upper level trough that's going to start to move on in. That's going to open the colder air up to open this up for colder air to filter in. And active weather is going to be part of this. Now, most of the snow will be falling while you're sleeping. So that's some good news, I think. So the trickier road conditions will be in those overnight and early morning hours. The weather pattern will start to switch back slowly on Monday, but the cold weather will still stick around in through Monday as well. Okay, Futurecast showing you clouds increasing as we head through tomorrow morning. There may even be some isolated showers out there as well, so keep that in mind in the far south. But there also should be some sunny breaks. Then we have the real core part of this system start to move in. So this is Saturday evening, kicking off as rain for the most part, and then temperatures will drop fast and it will transition over to some wet snow. So Saturday night in through early Monday morning, or early Sunday morning, is when we're looking at the snowfall. And further off into the mountains is where we are looking at a decent amount, which is why there are snowfall warnings and statements in place. So there is the possibility of isolated flurries, as you can see these little pockets here up the mountains and in the far south, right in through Monday morning, and then things will start to clear out. The cold will stick around. Here's a look at the statements in place. I'm going to show you the amount we can expect. But basically to the west of Lethbridge, Banff and Canmore are under a snowfall warning. These places under a statement because we won't see as much snowfall. So when we look at just right through till Sunday night, a couple centimeters in Lethbridge up through Claresholm, basically along Highway 2, and then we're looking at more 15 centimeters, Canmore, Kananaskis, and above that in Banff. And then Milk River could see about 3 centimeters from this. Again, the bulk of it is tomorrow night in through Sunday morning. East Kootenay area tonight, showers tomorrow afternoon as well, and a high of 13 degrees tomorrow. Crowsnest Pass 13, maybe some sunny breaks, but showers and gusty 60 kilometers per hour. And then we are looking at Medicine Hat, night precipitation. So again, we're looking at most of that precipitation falling tomorrow night, Lethbridge included in this. So we have a rain-snow mix. Saturday night carries into Sunday. So 17 degrees on Saturday. It will drop fast in the evening and just highs of 1 for Sunday and Monday.
Due to an expected personnel shortage, the emergency department in Bow Island will be closed overnight this weekend, while the ER will be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow and Sunday. The emergency department will be closed overnight, tomorrow night, tonight, and Sunday. Alberta Health Services said the ER should resume its current hours on Monday. During the temporary closure, nursing staff will remain on site, providing care to patients. Anyone needing emergency care, though, should call 911 or go to Tabor or Medicine Hat. For non-urgent health questions, you can call 811 at HealthLink. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, how much would you pay to go to a Blue Jays ALCS game? We have got ticket prices coming up. Welcome back. The Lethbridge Hurricanes will look to build off a 3-2 win over Red Deer on Tuesday, and they are at home this weekend looking to win consecutive games for the first time this season. Tonight, the Portland Winterhawks will make a rare visit to the Windy City. It's been a slow start to the year for the Hawks with 2 wins in 5 games, and that game goes at 7. Tomorrow night, the Canes will play the Rebels once again. This will be their 3rd meeting of the season, already having split the first 2 games. That one goes at 6 p.m. The Medicine Hat Tigers, meanwhile, will look to keep their hot start going. Tonight, they are on the road in Calgary, taking on the Hitmen. Medicine Hat won the only meeting between the two teams so far this season. Tonight's game starts at 7, and then tomorrow they will be at home, hosting the Portland Winterhawks as the Winterhawks continue their Central Division road trip. That game also starts at 7. The Brooks Bandits have a rare weekend off as they get set to travel to the BCHL Showcase next week. The Cranbrook Bucks, though, they will be in action at home. The Bucks will host the West Kelowna Warriors at Western Financial Place. The Warriors won their only meeting so far in a 6-0 blowout back on September 26th. Puck drop is tomorrow night at 7. Lethbridge Polytechnic Kodiaks and the University of Lethbridge Pronghorns each have several teams in action this weekend. Here's a look at what the weekend is looking like for them. The Kodiak soccer teams will host the Medicine Hat College Rattlers tomorrow. The women's game that kicks off at 1, followed by the men at 3:15. The Kodiak's homestand continues Sunday with the Ambrose University Lions in town. The women will start things off at noon. The men's game that gets started at 2:15. The Pronghorns women's rugby team got an early start to their weekend. They beat the U of C Dinos 55-14 this afternoon already. Men's soccer is also in action today with a game against the Saskatchewan Huskies on the road at 7. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays find out tonight whether they will play Seattle or Detroit in the American League Championship Series. However, tickets for the upcoming matchup may be hard to come by for fans.
50,000th in line, have a couple windows open for Game 7, Game 1, and thankfully I scored one ticket for Game 7, like right up high.
There is a massive wait list with more than 100,000 fans competing to watch games in person. Based on the seating chart, the lowest seats are coming in around $400. The prime seats, though, they are upwards of $2,000 per ticket. Game 1 of the ALCS, that goes on Sunday. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, we talk record-breaking gourds when we come back. What would the Thanksgiving weekend be without a record-breaking giant gourd? In England, a prized pumpkin has recently squashed a pair of world records. Twin brothers Stuart and Ian Patton have broken 2 world records for both the world's largest and heaviest pumpkins. Their gourd, weighing in at 2,819 pounds, or nearly 1,300 kilos, it has a circumference of 6.5 meters. Now, the farmers have been growing giant pumpkins for the past 50 years. Wow. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now, here's the early edition of the CTV National News.